Hi, and welcome to the second part of our 20-minute workout for Benchmark 7, which is discovering proportional relationships. You guys have questions 4 through 6 for this station, so we'll talk about all three questions. Again, if you have any questions about this or you need to watch this part of the video over again, go ahead and pause your video and rewind it back to the part where you need to see it again. Question number 4 says that the table below shows the cost of a book. Are the relationships proportional? And again, we're using a chart here. The difference with this one is we have values on left and right sides instead of tops and bottoms. So we need to be able to recognize what numbers we're going to use, what numbers we're going to divide. Do we do left versus right versus top and bottom? Different from the regular horizontal chart, since ours is vertical in this case, our X values are going to be on the left side. Our Y values are going to be on the right side. And something that you might notice is cost is in the right column. And again, what I said through the first station when we did problems 1 through 3 is that anytime you have cost as one of your labels, those are generally going to be your Y values. That is a dependent variable, so that they'll either be on the right side of your chart or they'll be along the bottom. So to find out whether or not the relationship here is proportional, we need to find out our rates of change. And to do that, we're going to take our Y values and divide them by our X values. Instead of putting our answers on the bottom of the chart, now they'll go on the right side of the chart. But the process is still the same. So we're going to take our Y value divided by our X value. 5 divided by 1, we get 5. We can write that off to the side of that row. Now I want you guys to do the same thing for each of the other 3 rows. Take your Y value divided by your X value and place your answer over here to the right side of the chart. Go ahead and pause your video now, and when you complete these 3 rows, go ahead and start your video again. All right, let's see how you did with these 3. Again, we're going to take the Y values of our chart and divide it by our X values. So we're going to take 10 divided by 2, we'll also get 5. For my third row, we're taking the Y value of 25 divided by the X value of 5, and we also get 5. And in our last row, we have 35 divided by 7, which is also 5. So what did we determine by finding out our rates of change? Are they all the same, or is there any number that's different? We found out all our rates of change are the same, so we do have a proportional relationship. So there is 2 parts to this question. First one is it's yes or no. Are the relationships proportional? We can say yes. And then probably the most important part is the second part of this question, which is to explain. Why is this a proportional relationship? Why is it when all the numbers are the same that this makes a proportional relationship? Well, we can say that our rates of change are all the same. So yes, this does form a proportional relationship, and it does so because the rates of change are all the same in this case. Again, if you have any questions about this or you missed something in this problem, go ahead and rewind the tape and start the problem over again. All right, number 5 says that we're going to use the table in question 4, and we're going to write an equation relating the number of books to the cost of those books. The only way that we're going to be able to write an equation for this is if our rates of change are all the same. We can't answer question 5 if this is not a proportional relationship. At least we can't answer it in the format that we're looking for, because the equation that we're going to write is in the form y equals k times x. And because we want to write this in the form of y equals k times x, we have to know what the value of k is. Because when we write our equation, most of this equation is already written for you. The y, the equal sign, and the x are already going to be part of your equation. That part's already set in stone. We don't change that. The only part of this equation we have to come up with is what's the value of x? Find out what's the value of k? Thank you. We got to find out what the value of k is and plug it in right here. Well, if this is a proportional relationship as it is, we have a value of k to work with. As long as these numbers are the same, this is your value of k. If any of these numbers were different from the others, we don't know what value to assign k. So k has to only take on one value. In this case, k equals 5, because that's what our constant of proportionality is right here, our constant rate of change. So the only number we need to plug in here is 5. Y equals 5x. And again, once you guys get to Algebra 1 and Algebra 2, where you start graphing equations like this will make a lot more sense. Why do we come up with an equation like this? In essence, it is a shortcut. If I want to buy 17 books, where x equals 17, remember the number of books are our x values. If I want to buy 17 books, what would be the cost? What would be the value of y? What would be the cost for 17 books? All I would need to do is plug in 17 where you see x. Y would equal 5 times 17, which would be 85. 17 books would cost me $85. Again, if you need to rewind this and go back and look at the problem again, please do so. Otherwise, we'll get started with question number 6. All right, question number 6 is probably the easiest of the 3 that are on here. Determining a proportional relationship by a graph is probably a lot easier than actually determining that by a chart. Remember, 2 things must take place. We need to know that there's a straight line, and that straight line must pass through the origin. 2 conditions must be met, and both of them must be met, not just one. So from looking at your graph right here, is there a straight line? Does that straight line pass through the origin? Go ahead and write your answer on here. Pause the video and we'll come back here and we'll take a look at your answer. All right, so what did you come up with here? First of all, yes, there is a straight line on here. Yes, it does pass through the origin. That's exactly what your answer is. Let's just write yes. And if you want to write a full sentence, that's even better. Yes, this is a proportional relationship. Explain why or why not. This is a proportional relationship because and if you turn this paper onto the back side, and I've got a number of clues to help you solve these kinds of problems, also on the back side of the answers to these, and hopefully what I've written under looks a lot like what you see right here. Yes, this is a proportional relationship because the graph is a straight line which passes through the origin. Here's my straight line, and it does go to the origin, which is the point 0, 0. That's the origin of our graph. Hope you guys did okay on this one. We'll see you at the next station.